Hey guys, so in this module we are going to see about the string analysis in static analysis. So what are all the strings we are going to see is actually embedded or hidden strings which is present in the malware files. So what is mean by embedded and hidden string analysis? There are lots of ways we can extract and analyze the strings from a file. So we are going to analyze what is our main objective. The main objective is we are going to analyze the malware file, and from that malware file we are going to get the strings, get the possible strings that will confirm that file is actually a malicious file. So there are lots of ways we can extract and analyze the strings from that particular file. So string analysis is the easiest and most powerful ways to get the informations. So it is actually very most powerful ways to get the information from the malicious file. Even as a cyber security analyst or a malware analyst, we can easily find out what are all the strings, malicious strings present in the malware file, and we can confirm that file as a malicious file. But the malware author, the attackers who have created that malicious files, they are not actually stupid. They know they were, the malware analyst is actually analyzing their malware, the malware who have created by the malware author. So attackers have started to hide their strings inside their files. So they have take some techniques to hide the strings so that the malware analyst couldn't see that strings while doing analysis. So they have included some techniques to hide the strings inside their files, and we are going to see in this model how we can defeat them, actually the malware author. So finally, consolidately, embedded strings analysis extracts and examines the groups of readable characters from a file. So what is actually embedded string analysis or hidden string analysis? It will extracts and examines the group of readable characters from a file. Before entering into the string analysis, we have to study what is mean by ASCII and Unicode strings. There are two main kind of strings are there. So one is ASCII, and you all know about ASCII, and the second one is actually Unicode strings. So to perform string analysis, we have to make sure the tool is extracting both the strings and Unicode, ASCII and Unicode strings. So we have to confirm for this also, for string analysis also, we have to get some tools from the internet, and we have to use that tool to extract the strings from the malicious file. So that tool, we have to make sure that tool is extracting both the ASCII and Unicode strings. So as I said earlier, the types of strings are ASCII and Unicode. So in ASCII strings, it is actually 7-bit long. It is actually 7-bit long. And in this ASCII strings, we are having actually 128-bit characters of in the combinations of alphabets and numericals and some symbols also there. It has been included in this 128 characters. Or simply we can say, if you have been seeing if you have been seeing the characters which is present in the keyboard, that consolidate this 128 characters. And in Unicode string, the length of the Unicode string is actually 8 or 16 or 32-bit characters. We can create over 128,000 characters from these Unicode strings. So here are some example of ASCII code is being presented here. ASCII string is presented here. It has been represented by a hexadecimal format. That is actually, for example, Explorer is my word. Right, E has been represented with 45, capital E has been represented with 45, and X has been represented with 78, P has been represented with 70, L has been represented with 6C, and similarly smaller E has been represented with 65, dot has been represented with 00. And Unicode string, since the length of the string is long, it has been represented with, separated with a dot. So dot E has been represented with 0045, similarly dot X represented with 0078, similarly it has been shown here. So keep it in your mind, while analyzing the malware, there are two strings we are going to analyze. The first one is ASCII strings and second one is Unicode strings. So you have to know the string length. The tool what you are actually using is have to know the string length, right? So before entering into this topic, let us see what are strings. So you can see this, right? At the rightmost side, we are having some alphabetical and numerical symbols are there. This is called actually strings. And then the leftmost side, it has been explained with the hexadecimal format. Say for example, script. It is actually a string. Dot path, right? It is actually a string. Dot slash, yes, slash, percentage. Everything is called actually strings. Here we can say w dot s dot c dot r dot i dot p dot t. Script is there. So this is actually a string. And similarly, e script option is there, end is there, right? W script dot exe is there. So number of strings we can find here. So this is called actually strings. This has been represented with the hexadecimal format in the leftmost side. Some strings with some unusual strings is there below the right corner, right bottom corner. So these are called actually garbage strings or padded strings, where the malware author has included in the string, malicious file. For some reason, let us explain. Let me explain you in that end of this module, right? So know the string length. Your tool should know the string length. So most tools will also only extract a string that only has a minimum number of characters in it. So this is done to cut down the garbage strings. Seriya? Right? As I said earlier, these are called actually garbage strings. This have to be cut it down if I am using a minimum number of characters in it. The longer the strings you pull, or the lessly like they are big garbage strings. So know the strings length of your particular tool. So what can strings show us? So right side in the black picture represents the string and its hexadecimal coding. Hexadecimal representation is there. So so this will represent some locality strings next to each other, right? So this is actually a strings which is next to each other. Second box in the in the blue color, it represents some IP address, some URL is there, some website address is there, right? Some in green color, it has been boxed like wupdate.exe. It is actually a file name. So file name is actually very important strings we have to analyze. So this is very important. If I am finding any file name in a particular malicious file as a string, then it has to be noted down, right? So then we are having strings indicating functionality. Say for example, a file is opened, file is executed, process is listing, process is not killed, process killed. So downloading some file. So this is all called functionality. So this is actually strings indicating functionality. And registry key is actually very important. As I said earlier in the starting of this course, I said, right, registry key is very important. It will be act as a heart of your OS. So this keys run services is usually present in most of the malicious files, right? Software, Microsoft, Windows, current versions, run services, current version, run. So these are all called actually persistent registry keys, right? Persistent registry keys, you make a note and you refer some Google content, Google search, and refresh what is mean by registry keys, persistent registry keys and all, right? That are the keys used to make the malware presence in your systems always. So that is actually persistent key. And unique or unusual strings, some unusual strings will also be there while analyzing the particular malicious file. So for this explanations, I'm going to give a demo on how to analyze a string in a particular malware. So I'm going to deal with two tools. The first one is actually strings is actually a tool. Strings is actually a tool which has been developed by Microsoft. This will extract both ASCII and Unicode strings at the same time. We can download this string, it's an open source tool. We can download it from this particular URL. And the second, the tool is BinText. It is a guide tool, and string is not a guide tool. It is actually a command line tool. BinText is a guide tool. A graphical user interface will be open here, and with this tool also we can extract Unicode and ASCII strings at the same time. By default, it will pull the strings with a minimum length of 5. Right? The minimum length of 5. We can change the length also. right? Don't worry about worry about the length of that strings and all, right? It is a simple thing, right? The tool what you are actually using, it has its own option or configurations how much strings I have to show to the malware analyst. So this is the actually the minimum length of the string. Okay, fine. So let us enter into the demonstration. So I'm going into my VMware, right? I'm going into my VMware, right? So I'm closing unnecessary windows opening here. Okay, this is my malicious file where you have did some exercise, right? Identifying this file as a p executable file. It has its GUI mode, and it has been, whether it has been archived or not, whether it has the hashes has some searches in Google or VirusTotal. You have did some analysis, right? A basic analysis. So the second kind of analysis, the second step of static analysis is finding the strings in the particular malicious file without executing that thing. So you make a note what you are actually finding in the string analysis, and you take a note. We are going to see, we are going to map, and we are going to confirm the same in the dynamic analysis also, where we are going to execute this malicious file. All right. So this is my exe file, malicious file, where I'm going to analyze the strings which is present inside this malicious file. Okay, fine. So here I'm having all the tools and all, right? I'm having all the tools and all. So first tool is the string tool. Here it has been in the zipped format. I have extracted here. So opening this folder, it has two versions. One is 32-bit and 64-bit. I am using 32-bit. Tool itself. I am dragging this tool into my desktop. So here I am going to analyze in the desktop. I am going to analyze my malicious file. So I am dragging this strings.exe into my desktop. So opening my command prompt cmd, right? So please note, right, every time if you are opening your command prompt, which locations you are actually present, you have to note it down. So actually you are being present in C:users, iUsers, where you can find desktops, documents, downloads, favorites. Every folder is there which is present under this user iUser directory. And I have to go to desktop, right? So this is actually desktop. So I am going to analyze the malicious file in my desktop. So I'm getting into this desktop. So for that cd desktop. So now I'm getting into this desktop. So you can give dir. You can find what are all the files and folders which is present in the desktop and all, right? So how to analyze the strings with the help of this tool, strings.exe tool. So this is my malicious file, right? So the command is actually, you have to type strings, which is actually the name of your tool. You have to give space -o, right? It has to write as an output. That is -o. So what I have to write as an output? I have to write it as an output for my malicious file. So hdfc -statement is my file name, right? You can check here, hdfc -statement. The spelling should be exactly match. So exe, and give space, and you have to give a greater than symbol, and you have to give some file name. Say for example str.txt, where it is going to write all the strings about this hdfc statement.exe. So you might understand what is actually meant here. The strings is the word which represents our tool, right? So then the space -o is nothing but you are going to do an output for what you are going to give us an output for my malicious file hdfc statement.exe. You have to give a space, and you have to give a greater than symbol, and you have to give a space, and you have to type str.txt. So you have to give enter, right? If you are giving enter, this should come out, right? www.sysinternal. It is a Microsoft website, right? So it should come out, and a file have to be created for the name str.txt at the desktop. So I am opening this file with the help of Notepad++. You can download Notepad++. It is also an open source tool. It is actually an advanced version of the Notepad, right? With the help of Notepad++, I am opening, right? Okay. Now I can see a lot of strings we have been extracted from the particular hdfc statement.exe. Right, you can see the first string. This program can be run in DOS mode. It can be seen in previous tools where we have identified that the particular file is a malware, right? A particular file is an exe file, right? You can scroll down, right? You can scroll down, right? Could you tell me how what is the length of minimum length of this particular tool? So it is actually 80C is actually the length of 3. Here it is actually length of 4. So the minimum length is actually 4. Up to 4 length of byte we can actually extract. So you can scroll down. So some unnecessary strings are there actually, right? You can scroll down. Yeah. Here you can see at you can point it here, right? So at 255 you can see, right, and 253 also you can see, right, some run is there, right? Run once, as I said earlier, it is actually a persistent keys. It is actually a persistent keys, right? Run, right? And the second one is run once. You can give a delete also, right? You can see, right? Run once, right? And next one is policies, right? Policies is there, right? Explore is there, right? Software is there, right? It is actually / Microsoft is there. Got it, right? So these are all actually the registry keys, right? Registry keys. Window is there. I have deleted F, I think. Yeah. So window is there. Okay. So similarly, you can search some other strings also, registry strings also. So from this, what you are actually inferring is, in this malicious file, if this persistent key is present, we can doubt that this file is actually a malicious file, right? Similarly, explore, you can delete this thing and you can extract the strings, particular strings, specific strings, right? Again, there is a run one, software is there, right? Hidden folder is there, right? Have you find this thing, hidden folder, right? A hidden folder is there, right? Sometimes you note everything in this analysis, and we are going to confirm the same thing what you have inferred from the string analysis, static analysis. We are going to confirm in the dynamic analysis also, right? Yeah, explore, some window update is there, Windows update is there, right? Windows update, yeah, update is there. Okay, right? So I'm scrolling down here, down here. Okay. Right, some explorer.exe is there. Some purpose is there actually, including this file and all by the malicious author, malware author, right? So I'm scrolling down, I couldn't find any specific strings here, right? I'm scrolling down, scrolling down. Yeah, some website is there, right? Update, Yeah, it is actually communicating the Microsoft website, I think. Microsoft, of course, right? Microsoft. Okay, right. So which means that we can confirm the same. If I am executing that particular malicious file, it should communicate with the Microsoft.com. We are going to confirm this thing. So here also some website is there, right? Some website is there. Okay. I'm scrolling down. No other specific strings is there. Right? I couldn't find any specific strings. Some junk characters are there, right? Some junk characters are there. Yeah. So this is very important. Some WinLogin is there, Adobe ARM is there, SMS is there, SV host is there. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So this is also a very important thing, which gives us a hint that this particular malicious file is actually using base 64 encoding method, right? They are doing some encoding also here. This base 64 encoding technique we will see soon in the next module also. Please make a note, right? This thing is very important. Alphabetical order with caps and small letter and numerical 0 to 9. Right, it is actually gives us a hint that this malicious author is using base 64 encoding. Base 64 encoding. Okay. Some service entry is there, right? System current control set. This is actually a service entry, right? Service entry, right? All the services in our system has been located in services.msc. You go to run, and if you have been typing services.msc, you can see the all the services of your system. Yeah, files are there, right? regedit.exe. If I am going to my regedit, so this is actually regedit, right? Regedit. So this will open a particular regedit.exe file. So it is also there, right? So this malware is accessing this regedit.exe. What I said, registry keys are there, right? Autorun's exe. Yeah, this is actually very important thing. There is a string which is related to Skype is there, right? Skype phone is there. So maybe while executing this malicious file, it may communicate with the Skype if I am having my Skype in my sandbox, right? So this is there. Some browser related strings are also there. Chrome, Mozilla, everything is there, right? Okay. Yeah. Some DLL files are there, right? Some DLL files are there. Some API is also there, right? Get by head host by name, right? ICMP parse replies. Yeah, this DLL is very, very important. You make a note, right? WS2 underscore 32 dot DLL. So this, if this DLL is present in your string analysis, then this malware should use this DLL in your system to communicate some other network, some other host in the internet, right? So socket is there, so which means that while executing this malicious file, it is going to communicate with some other host in the internet. This string is very, very, very important. Why it has been here, Wireshark network analyzer is there. So the malware author is using some anti-analysis technique also, I think. If I am opening a Wireshark network analyzer in my sandbox as a malware analyst, right, this malware is going to detect this Wireshark tool. So it may be an anti-analysis technique, right? Okay. Again, some registry keys are there. Alright. Some quotes are there. The oldest and strongest emotion of mankind is fear. Some quotes are there, right? So you can find number of strings, right? Yeah. So then we are being here, right? I am giving a hint, right, how to identify the strings, right? Some malicious strings which is present in the malware file, right? So with the help of this string tool, we have been identified some strings, right? Let us consult it, right? And also I have to use my BinText also. I am dragging this file into this BinText, right? I'm seeing this thing. So this first column represents that it is actually an ASCII code, right? This is an ASCII code. This is an ASCII code. This is an ASCII code, right? And it is having Unicode also, some 16, I think, right? Unicode is 16 strings are there, which is present in Unicode representation also. Also there is, this tool is having some bug. It will repeat the strings, extracted strings, right? Here this program cannot be run in DOS mode, right? This is the first string where we have been finding here. This program cannot be run in DOS mode. Cannot be run in DOS modes. Okay. Cannot be run in DOS mode. So we can do a analysis here, right? The similar strings we can find out. The similar strings what we have find out with the help of the string, I think, right? So regedit, right? Task manager, where we have found Skype, right? Browser related strings, right? Everything we can find. Yeah, Wireshark analyzer, network analyzer string, everything we can find out here. You can change the length of the string, right? As I said earlier, the minimum text length is actually 5 here with in the BinText tool. Okay, let us consolidate, right? Let's consolidate finally. So string analysis with the help of BinText and string tool, we have been have some findings also. So let us consolidate the run keys. These keys have been we have been finding out the strings in the malicious file. This key is used for a persistent method. The particular malware to be persist in a particular system. So key is used for a persistent method while rebooting the system. Every reboot it will actually enabling its presence. It starts its process, right? So that is actually keys used for persistent method. Second one is Microsoft. There is a string related to Microsoft, I mean website, it may connect, right? And startup, some startup strings also we have seen, right? This is also a persistent key. And some function related strings, right? File name is there, process name is there, right, etc. Right? Yeah, I have told, right, base 64 encoding related strings is also there, right? And there is a strings related to, I mean, Skype and browser is also there. WinSock, that DLL we have seen, right? Win32 some underscore DLL is .dll is there, right? So that DLL is called actually WinSock DLL. If that DLL has been accessed by that particular malicious file, then that file is communicating a particular host in the internet, right? Wireshark string is there, which means that it is actually the malware has written some code of anti-analysis technique also. Finally, we have missed this thing, right? Slow low-risk DDoS, right? Slow low-risk DDoS. We have missed, I think. Let us. Yeah, here it is, slow laris. Maybe if you are a hacker, you should know this word, slow laris. It is actually a tool used by a hacker, right? Yeah, slow laris. So slow laris is a type of denial of service attacking tool, right? If this string is present in this particular file, then we can confirm that this file is actually a malicious file, right? So maybe this malicious file we can do some denial of service attack also. So I am confirming here, right? We have missed this thing. Slow, lower is used for DDoS attack. So we have find some strings, important strings, which again we can make a confirm that what file we have been analyzing is actually a malicious file. So you please, I think you are having this sample HDFC statement.exe in your virtual machine. You try to do this analysis. What I have done, and try to find the strings, malicious strings present in that particular file, right? And every time you've been analyzing means it may execute, this malware file may execute in your virtual machine. So do a revert back, right, into your previous snapshot. Again I am saying, before dragging this malicious file into your virtual machine, you better have a snapshot with all the tools installed in your virtual machine. Okay, thank you all. We will see in the next module.